suppose if I had a mouthful of bees, I wouldn't have to answer the question. Right?
It's like a circular thing. Then you wouldn't have to answer my stupid questions.
Said it would be the end of the interview, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Smart man.
On screen, Cillian Murphy can silence an entire room with just one look. In real life, that silence usually ends in laughter. He does not throw out punchlines, does not fight for attention, and almost seems to reject every ritual expected of a movie star. Cillian simply answers with exactly what he thinks, wearing a face so serious that the person across from him needs a few seconds to realize they have just been taken down. If you enjoy this kind of dry humor, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Cillian is especially dangerous in group interviews, where everyone brings a polished story with them. All he has to do is sit still, smile very slightly, and let his co-stars admit that his silence carries more pressure than an entire speech.
Cillian is the worst dinner companion imaginable.
He is in no rush to defend himself. The more other people try to protect Cillian's social reputation, the more he looks like a man who has accepted the verdict and is simply waiting for dessert.
I have a cat, yes.
Oh, really? A cat, you said?
Yes, I do.
Let's get a cat.
He's a ginger cat.
You have no idea what kind of cat he is, do you?
Even a harmless question about pets can become a small trap. Cillian gives just enough information without adding any decoration, leaving Craig Ferguson to supply all the missing noise himself.
It doesn't have a phone. So she put me on to Chris, and he said in his, very understated British way,
Margot Robbie is telling a very Hollywood story, and then Cillian cuts in with a truth so short that all the sparkle falls straight to the floor. That is his specialty. He does not destroy the story, he just quietly unties the bow around it.
You had to feel it, and it had to be real. And unfortunately, Jamie Dornan is a cock, so that was tricky. But no, change.
With Jamie Dornan, that politeness becomes even more suspicious. Cillian can begin as if he is seriously analyzing a character relationship, then suddenly drop his co-star into a hole with one sentence and sit there afterward as if nothing happened.
You go first.
Oh God. Irish people are terrible at giving and receiving compliments.
I think we are too, by the way. We're dreadful.
But he does not only tease other people. When the conversation gets too close to direct emotion, Cillian is often the first person to pull away the ladder, citing his Irish identity like a legal permit to avoid saying anything too sweet.
Yeah, there's a lot of I'm just going to the shop to buy milk or whatever, and they get a lot of
and someone will just scream, "No fighting it."
Fight, yeah.
For people who don't know your work, it must be very jarring.
Fame for him is always dragged back to the smallest things. Audiences see Tommy Shelby while Cillian is just trying to buy milk, an ordinary task that suddenly becomes an unwanted performance in the supermarket aisle.
After winning an Oscar?
Nothing really changed for me in terms of professionally or anything else. No, I don't have an interesting answer on that. Like I said, it was magical and so kind of overwhelming and beautiful. But then you go back to the work.
Even an Oscar does not make him change his voice. Cillian receives the moment with gratitude, then quickly sets the golden statue aside and returns to the work, like someone who attended a grand party but still has to walk the dog the next morning.
I think it...
Because it seems like...
Was it efficient? Was it a pleasant stay?
Yes. I mean, Chris and Emma also stayed there, so just to make that clear.
Okay,
Cillian, you're so protective and so nice.
I feel bad.
Such a good soldier.
That is why a story about accommodations during filming cannot become a luxurious complaint. Robert Downey Jr. tries to build a backstage tragedy, and Cillian immediately defends everyone involved, leaving Robert with no ammunition and just enough guilt.
I have a pretty unexciting life when I haven't worked at all this year, for example. I haven't done any acting.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Anyone got a job?
That's my line.
Right.
Time away from acting does not become some grand journey of rediscovery either. Cillian describes an empty schedule like someone standing in front of a job board, making an award-winning star suddenly sound like an actor waiting for the phone to ring.
And I do like the ambiguity of the ending.
I know.
But I'm always open to like a great script. You know, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be?
Good.
No,
Do
thanks
people
for
just
that.
come up to you all the time
A lot, yeah, a lot.
and say, Tommy, good job?
When Margot eagerly asks for more Peaky Blinders, he does not give her the promise every fan wants to hear. Cillian keeps the door open by exactly 1 inch, enough for hope to survive, but not enough for anyone to rush inside.
Stephen can't hook you up. No, me tickets. I don't need tickets.
I can't get. Listen, let's not do it now. I can't.
Fame does not turn him into a backstage ticket office. A request for tickets is returned immediately, dry as a stamp that says, "Not my department."
I think the more boring you are in real life, the less people are interested in you. So I tell people I have an extraordinarily boring life. It's actually incredibly exciting.
He also actively makes his life sound less interesting, then secretly turns it at the very last second. That is a very Cillian kind of self-mockery. No need to lift himself higher, just change the angle and let the whole room realize they have walked into the joke.
I have never done Shakespeare. See,
It's about time, son.
do you think?
It's about time. It's a high diddly-dee Hamlet.
I don't know. I kind of a bit of a. I never trained, so I might be a little like anxious about the whole Shakespeare thing.
In front of Shakespeare, the confidence of a major star instantly disappears. Cillian talks about genuine fear, making Craig want to push him forward while also being unable to mock that honesty.
Next time I see him,
Next time you see him, he'd love this.
You think so?
No.
Sometimes one single no is enough to make an entire romantic idea collapse. The interviewer tries to build a spiritual bridge between artists, and Cillian looks at it for 1 second before gently revoking the building permit.
For sure.
I love that. You guys are the best. Being opposite either of you, I feel like I've got massive imposter syndrome. So this has been a really lovely interview. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations, everything.
When he is praised, he does not quite know where to put his hands. Instead of receiving the moment like a polished star, Cillian admits to feeling out of place, and that awkwardness makes the compliment feel even more sincere.
All of it. I didn't enjoy any of it. I don't recommend any of it. I mean, I think it's going to bed hungry is not. I wouldn't do that.
And when it comes to physical transformations that are often described like acts of heroism, he tears away the myth from the start. There is no glory in going to bed hungry, only someone who did what was necessary and very much does not want anyone else to copy it.
It wasn't great, but then of course I did Oppenheimer, and it's like a pipe and a.
I literally thought that I was watching it. I was like, we need to get him to a doctor.
Yeah.
He's smoked so many cigarettes on
The thing
screen.
about those
Herbals.
now they have a warning on the herbals as well.
Do they?
Yes, you can't win.
Margot tries to find a healthier solution for cigarette props, but Cillian immediately sees the warning sign at the end of the road. He does not complain, he just concludes that sometimes every rule leads back to a dead end.
That was by accident.
Okay. Oh, that's
If
right.
you haven't seen the film, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I killed him by accident.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that's exactly what you would say.
Yeah. It was a terrible accident.
It was a terrible accident.
A heavy incident in Dunkirk is also shrunk by him with almost absurd calm. Cillian does not deny the responsibility of the character, but the way he calls it an accident makes the host laugh before he has time to stay serious.
It's interesting. I saw the movie and then I was like, that can't really have happened, you know? And then you read about it and you're like, holy shit, that didn't just happen. That
You just swore on
died.
live, by the way.
I know, it's okay, we can swear.
Oh, you can?
Oh, yeah,
They
let
told
it
me
rip.
not to swear back there because it was live, and I thought I'm going to say fuck.
Oh,
the
no,
minute
no,
I
no,
come out.
we're not gonna kick you off. It's okay. Jamie, you can go.
I'm actually really uncomfortable.
Of course, that layer of control sometimes cracks too. When he forgets where he is, Cillian does not panic in a television way. He handles the slip with such calmness that the awkwardness itself becomes the most endearing part.
Well, I've always said this, I need to feel intimidated by work. It needs to feel dangerous or impossible for me. If it feels like I know how to play that, I'm not really interested. It needs to feel like a huge leap, and this was one of the biggest leaps.
It's a sort of wild combination of like,
Hidden under those dry answers is someone who is always looking for uncertainty in the work. Cillian does not want a role that fits like a tailored shirt. He needs something that knocks him off balance, because only when he is unsure do his instincts fully wake up.
You know, you get used to the environment. It feels like a laboratory when you're working at Chris Nolan's set. Because you're free to experiment and try and make a fool of yourself. And he loves actors. He's incredibly curious about actors. So it always feels like a very small, private, safe environment.
That is why the ideal film set for him is not a stage to prove how good he is, but a room where failure is allowed. The way Cillian talks about making himself look foolish sounds almost gentle, a reminder that seriousness does not have to mean stiffness.
I mean, this typical Chris fashion, there's no like text or preamble. I might be writing something, just came straight out of the blue. So it was a shocker, but like the best type of shocker, you know.
Even the career-changing phone call is told without any grandness. No dramatic setup, just one turn that leaves Cillian stunned. And then he wraps the emotion in a few words like someone still unsure that luck found the right address.
What was it that drew you to him?
He never played the game.
Yeah.
When everyone was being hippies, he was not being hippies, you know. He never took drugs, or he was like just smoked, he drank coffee. And he was politically very outspoken, and he's the real deal, you know. And I could compose for orchestras.
Yeah.
And
What he admires in other artists also explains a lot about him. Cillian is drawn toward people who do not play the fame game, do not bend themselves toward the crowd, and let the work speak before the personal image has time to enter the room.
I think actors, we were sort of students of history for like the 4 weeks before the film and the 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks of the film, and you absorb as much as you can, but we're sort of on a very superficial level, really. And
That clarity is sharpest when he talks about history. Cillian does not claim to deeply understand the pain of real people just because he researched a role. He puts actors back into their proper size as temporary students standing before a story much larger than themselves.
So it's always a work in progress all the time. And for me, acting is always an instinctual exercise, not an intellectual one. I love reading and I love absorbing all the information, but ultimately when you get on stage, it has to be emotional and truthful.
Because in the end, every piece of research has to make room for a living reaction. Cillian does not want acting to become a problem solved on paper. He absorbs as much as possible, then walks into the scene with empty hands so emotion has space to appear.
It's also because we kind of knew we were losing the light. Like it was just that sort of simmer of tension on set where you're like, ooh, and you see it was just...
We shot it so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
And Chris wants to keep that at bay, but you could kind of feel it. Just sort of, we needed to get it. He'd already shot 5 scenes before it.
When the light is about to disappear and time is tightening around the crew, his calmness does not mean he feels no pressure. Cillian remembers that exact tension, turning a rushed shoot into a quiet energy the audience can feel even without seeing the clock outside the frame.
Oh no.
It was almost like we're having a 4D experience.
It was like Chris designed it.
Because it was like literally like getting hotter and hotter, and they're building the bomb. And by the time the bomb was going off, I was like literally dripping with sweat with everyone else in here. It was so hot.
His parents' reaction to Oppenheimer does not become a family victory moment either. Cillian remembers the room being too hot, pulling the prestigious premiere back down to one simple truth. When the air conditioning breaks, everyone suffers equally.
I don't know, there's a tension always, yeah, there's a tension.
How does it play out for you?
I guess you do take the work deadly seriously and you promote the work because you want people to see it, and then you just go quiet. You know?
That is also how he lives with this profession. He works with everything he has, promotes when he needs to, then goes back to Ireland, walks, takes the dog out, and becomes quiet again, as if Cillian always knows which door leads to the stage and which door keeps him himself.
No, it didn't. Other than there's this residue of like, holy shit, that was
crazy.
That
happened.
Actually, yeah.
And after all the awards, all the lights, the answer is still almost the same. Cillian looks back at the noise as if it were something unbelievable that happened to someone else. Then the familiar uncertainty returns, reminding him that tomorrow still has to begin from zero. Cillian Murphy is compelling not because he tries to be the funniest person in the room. In fact, he usually does the opposite, says less, colors things more lightly, and refuses to perform the role of movie star when the camera is waiting for exactly that. It is that dry sincerity that keeps throwing co-stars, hosts, and audiences off balance. He can dismantle a question with one word, deflate a glamorous moment with a story about walking the dog, then return to talking about acting with absolute seriousness. Comment with your favorite moment, hit like and subscribe for more videos like this.